The Alchemist's Final Formula. Hey everyone! Welcome back to Mumtahina's English Learning, your favorite place to practice and master English. Whether you want to speak more fluently, perfect your pronunciation, or boost your confidence for work and travel, I've got you covered with simple, practical lessons every week. You are ready to take your English to the next level. Hit that subscribe button and join our global community. Let's jump straight into today's video. The Alchemist's Final Formula, a challenging English story for advanced vocabulary practice. The high-stakes intellectual challenge. Within the soot-stained walls of a collapsing subterranean laboratory, a master artisan stood poised between transcendence and annihilation. His name was Aurelius Vane, a reclusive alchemist whose intellect had become so voracious, so catastrophically obsessive, that even the language of ordinary scholars could no longer contain the magnitude of his ambition. The vaulted chamber around him trembled beneath the ceaseless respiration of furnaces. Copper alembics hissed with volatile vapors. Retorts bubbled over charcoal braziers, while arcane manuscripts, brittle with age and saturated by chemical residue, lay scattered across an obsidian worktable like the fragmented scripture of a forgotten religion. A pungent amalgamation of sulfur, mercury, and scorched cedar permeated the suffocating air, yet Aurelius scarcely noticed. For 20 years he had pursued a singular objective, the transmutation of base metal into gold. Kings had financed him, philosophers had ridiculed him, clergymen had condemned him as a heretic trespassing upon divine territory. Still, he persisted, not because he desired wealth, but because he believed gold represented perfection itself, incorruptible, immutable, eternal. And now, after decades of humiliating failure, he stood upon the precipice of his final experiment, or his final ruin. The architecture of failure. The laboratory resembled less a place of scientific inquiry than the decomposing interior of a mechanical cathedral. Iron pistons groaned beneath intolerable pressure. Condensation dripped rhythmically from fractured stone ceilings. Ancient gears rotated with arthritic reluctance, as though the machinery itself had grown exhausted by Aurelius's relentless pursuit. His prior attempts at transmutation had produced only catastrophe. One experiment generated a metallic sludge so corrosive that it devoured an entire granite basin overnight. Another triggered a combustion violent enough to shatter every window in the district above. During his 8th year of research, a crimson vapor escaped containment and left his assistant permanently blind. After that incident, no apprentice remained willing to serve him. Isolation became both his punishment and his sanctuary. Gradually, Aurelius abandoned conventional language altogether. He spoke instead in cryptic formulations and archaic terminology: calcination, sublimation, putrefaction, chrysopia. To outsiders, his speech resembled delirium. To him, it was precision, because ordinary words lacked the necessary exactitude for the realities he confronted daily within the furnace's glow. Night after night, he manipulated volatile compounds through increasingly elaborate apparatuses. Molten lead coursed through silver conduits, while mercury spiraled within crystalline coils suspended above infernal flames. The procedures demanded such meticulous calibration that even a negligible deviation in temperature could reduce months of labor to ash. And yet, the lead remained. Lead, dense, leaden, unyielding, like despair itself. The linguistic crucible. One storm-laden evening, while examining a decaying manuscript acquired from a monastery in Prague, Aurelius discovered a discrepancy. At first glance, it appeared trivial. A single mistranslated phrase. But the implications were devastating. For years, scholars had interpreted the ancient instruction as, "Purify the metal until its darkness perishes." Yet beneath layers of faded ink and water damage, Aurelius discerned the original wording, "Purify the self until its darkness speaks." He froze. Thunder reverberated through the catacombs overhead. The realization struck him with almost theological violence. Had every alchemist misunderstood the formula? Had the transmutation never concerned metal at all? Aurelius feverishly compared manuscripts, tracing linguistic roots through obsolete dialects and fractured etymologies. The deeper he ventured into the labyrinth of interpretation, the more unstable his certainty became. He texts spoke not merely of chemistry, but of consciousness, not furnaces alone, but suffering. The lead described within the manuscripts was simultaneously literal and metaphorical. The immense psychic burden of fear, vanity, grief, and insatiable ambition. And gold? Gold was clarity, a state of incorruptible perception, achieved only when illusion had been annihilated completely. But Aurelius resisted the conclusion. To accept such an interpretation would mean acknowledging that 20 years of obsessive experimentation had been founded upon a catastrophic misunderstanding. His life's work would become indistinguishable from madness. Still, the evidence accumulated relentlessly, like molten metal filling a mold. The epiphany of ruin. Determined to prove the manuscripts wrong, Aurelius initiated one final transmutation. The laboratory convulsed with intolerable heat. Bellows roared. Engines shrieked. Glass vessels vibrated upon the verge of rupture, as torrents of liquid lead circulated through incandescent channels carved into the stone floor. Sweat streamed down Aurelius's hollow face. His bloodshot eyes reflected furnace light with almost inhuman intensity. He recited the ancient incantations aloud, his voice trembling beneath the mechanical thunder surrounding him. Pressure mounted catastrophically. Then, something changed. The lead inside the crucible began to shimmer. Not gold, not silver. Something stranger. The surface became mirror-like. Aurelius stared downward and saw himself, not merely his reflection, his entirety. every humiliation, every betrayal, every sleepless year squandered in pursuit of perfection, every friendship abandoned, every fragment of humanity sacrificed upon the altar of ambition. The crucible did not transmute metal. It transmuted illusion, and in that unbearable instant of clarity, Aurelius finally comprehended the formula's true meaning. The alchemist himself had always been the lead. The furnace had never been designed to create gold. It had been designed to destroy falsehood. A violent crack erupted through the chamber. The machinery overloaded simultaneously. Steam exploded from fractured pipes. Fire surged across the ceiling beams. The entire laboratory convulsed beneath a catastrophic chain reaction of heat and pressure. Yet Aurelius did not flee. For the first time in decades, he no longer feared failure, because he finally understood that his obsession with perfection had been nothing more than an elaborate attempt to escape his own incompleteness. And strangely, that realization felt purer than gold itself. The explosion consumed the laboratory moments later. The golden residue. By morning, little remained of Aurelius Vane's workshop beyond scorched foundations and twisted metallic debris. Ash drifted silently through the ruined chamber, while townspeople gathered above, whispering rumors of demonic rituals and forbidden science. Among the wreckage, investigators discovered a single surviving page. Its edges were blackened by fire. At the center, written in remarkably steady handwriting, appeared one final sentence: "To transmute suffering into wisdom is the only alchemy that endures." No gold was ever recovered. No miraculous formula survived the flames. Yet generations later, philosophers, linguists, and scholars continued studying Aurelius's manuscripts, not because they revealed how to manufacture wealth, but because they exposed something infinitely more difficult: the terrifying precision required to confront oneself honestly. And perhaps that is the greatest challenge of all. Not merely understanding sophisticated vocabulary or deciphering archaic syntax, but enduring the uncomfortable clarity hidden beneath them. Because language, like alchemy, is transformative. Every intricate sentence refines perception. Every unfamiliar word expands consciousness. Every difficult story forces the mind into a crucible where confusion gradually becomes understanding. And sometimes, amid the wreckage of complexity, we discover our own golden residue. Thank you so much for watching Mumtahina's English Learning. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend. Don't forget to write your practice sentences in the comments below. I love reading them. Keep practicing, stay confident, and I will see you in the next lesson. Bye.